Welcome to the City of Bakersfield Planning Commission meeting. This television broadcast is made available through cooperation with the local cable companies, the County of Kern, and the City of Bakersfield. The Planning Commission meets on the first and third Thursdays of each month. You can watch the rebroadcast of this meeting Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 10 a.m. The planning meeting agenda is posted on the city's website at www.bakersfieldcity.us. Presiding over today's meeting, Barbara Lomas.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to call to order the April 6, 2017 Planning Commission meeting. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Lomas.
Here.
Commissioner Schwartz. Commissioner Bell.
Here.
Commissioner Cater. Commissioner Rudnick.
Here.
Commissioner Strong.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hold on just one second. Agenda item number 3, public statements. We will now receive public statements. This is the time reserved for anyone wishing to address the commission on a matter not on the consent calendar public hearings portion of the agenda. If you're here on items 5A through 5C, this is not the time to speak. Does anyone in the audience wish to address the commission on a matter not on the consent calendar public hearings or hearings portion of the agenda? If so, please come forward and state your name. Seeing no one, we will move on to agenda item 4, consent calendar non-public hearing. Does any commissioner wish to remove a consent calendar non-public hearing item for separate consideration? Seeing no one. We're good? Okay. May I have a motion to adopt staff's recommendation on the consent calendar non-public hearing items?
I'll move.
Thank you. And a second? Thank you. You got that, Dina?
No.
All the way down there. This is a roll call vote. Bear with us, folks.
Commissioner Lomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Bell.
Yes.
Commissioner Rudnick.
Yes.
Commissioner Strong.
Moving on, consent calendar public hearings. The portion of this section is to vote on all of the consent calendar public hearing items in one motion without further comment unless an item is removed by the commission or someone in the audience who wishes to speak on it. If anyone wishes to speak on a consent calendar public hearing item, the item must be removed from this portion of the agenda. Any items removed will be heard in that order. At this time, I will open all of the consent calendar public hearing items. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak on a consent calendar public hearing item? Seeing no one, does a commissioner wish to remove an item? Seeing no one. Sorry? Yes, please come forward and state your name at the microphone.
Bruce Laverty with Crimson Resources, addressing 5A.
5A, thank you, sir. Anyone else? Okay, commissioners, are we good? All right. Yep. Okay, at this point, I will close the public hearing on agenda items 5B and 5C and look for a motion.
I move to close the agenda items.
And to approve?
Yes.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Strong?
Second.
Thank you. This is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Lomas.
Yes?
Commissioner Bell.
Yes.
Commissioner Rudnick.
Yes.
Commissioner Strong.
Aye.
Excuse me, Commissioner, or Chair, that motion incorporates the memos, correct?
Thank you, sir. Yes. And All right, so we will move on to public hearings, agenda item 6, and that would be item 5A. Okay. It is now time to hear the, no, we've already done that. Why are we doing, yeah. It is now time to hear the consent calendar public hearing items that were removed, which is agenda item 5A. Before we begin, I want to explain how each hearing will be conducted. Staff will first give a staff report, then those in favor of the project will be allowed to speak. Those in opposition to the project will be able to speak after all those in favor have spoken. Each side will be given a 5-minute rebuttal period. The commissioners may ask questions of those who have spoken to seek clarification. You may also ask questions during your statement, but the questions will not be answered until the public hearing on that item is closed. If you have written comments that are longer than your verbal statement, you may give them to the clerk, who will provide copies to the commissioners. Again, please be courteous to others who wish to speak and try not to repeat previous speakers. On to Ms. Jenny.
Good evening. My name is Jenny Ng, and I'm a principal planner with the Planning Department. Item 5A is an extension of time for vesting tentative track 7238. McIntosh and Associates is representing Urban Land Advisors, LLC. This track is located south of future Etchart Road, west of the Callaway Canal, which is approximately a quarter-mile east of the future Allen Road. The applicant is requesting a 3-year extension of time to allow for additional time to record this map. If this extension is granted, the map will not expire until the year 2020. Staff is recommending a new condition of approval related to a remnant strip of property zoned A agriculture that is located along the north boundary of this tract. This remnant A is shown as a sump on the tentative track and a portion of Etchart Road right-of-way. In 2014, when this track was originally approved, staff inadvertently did not include a condition that would require rezoning of this A zone property to a compatible zone such as an R1 zone. At this time, staff is recommending a condition of approval that would require a covenant be recorded for the phase that contains this remnant A zone that would limit the use of the property to a sump, which is shown on the tentative track map, and I believe the applicant is agreeable to this. If at a later time the applicant obtains a zone change to some other land use, the covenant could be released and they could construct under the appropriate approved land use zone. That condition that staff is recommending to add is on page 3 of the staff report. Correspondence was received on this application, and that was provided to the commission. A law firm representing Crimson Resource Management, who is the mineral interest holder under this property, objects to the extension of time, and they did object in 2014, when the track was originally approved. No other circumstances have changed in this tract, and staff views these extensions of time as routine matters. So staff is recommending approval with the additional condition, as I explained, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. At this time, this public hearing on this item is now open. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in favor of the project?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Roger McIntosh with McIntosh & Associates. I'm representing Urban Land Advisors, LLC. We are aware of staff recommended condition of approval, added condition that that property zoned A would only be used as a sump, and we are agreeable to that. This is a simple extension of time for a tentative map that was approved in 2014. I've read the letter from Crimson Resources. There is an issue, and we have been trying to work on an accommodation agreement with them to allow them to continue to drill and get access to their minerals while still being able to develop in the subdivision. The parties are far apart, millions of dollars apart, is my understanding. but we're not asking for any additional conditions or change of conditions on that originally approved tentative map. If we decide to do that, we'll come back at a public hearing as allowed or directed by the condition of approval of the original map in 2014. So with that, I'm here to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Seeing no one, those in opposition, could you please come forward? State your name, please.
Bruce Laverty with Crimson Resources. Since there are no changes right now, I'll decline to comment. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? I see no need for a rebuttal period, so I'll refer back to the commission for comment and action. Commissioners?
Excuse me, Chair, we need to close the hearing for...
Oh, thank you so much. I'm sorry. At this time, the public hearing on this item is now closed. Anything from the commissioners? I'll take a shot at it. Sir, I'm not certain why you pulled it off of the consent if you're not voicing an opinion, so I'll refer to staff on what you think we should do.
Chairman Lomas, I don't want to speak on behalf of Crimson, the commenter. However, their comment letter did express that they wished for 2 of the conditions of approval to remain that were approved with the original map in 2014. And those conditions were specifically related to requiring that an accommodation agreement be reached between the mineral rights owner and the surface property owner. There was an option in one of those conditions for the surface owner to opt out and delete that requirement at a later time. So my thought is that Crimson was here to confirm that that was not being requested tonight, and it was not. And it's my assumption that that's why they declined to comment, since no changes are being proposed.
Do you have direction or advice?
It would seem that if it's agreeable to the applicant, it would be appropriate to move forward with staff's recommendation to approve the extension of time.
Okay, thanks. Gentlemen? I'll look for a motion. Commissioner Rudnick?
I move to approve.
Thank you. May I have a second? Commissioner Strong?
I just have one, not clear on the, from standpoint of an accommodation agreement, how does that affect Crimson's ability to continue to do, I mean, is that just say to them that they can't do business anymore, can't have any drilling, have any kind of activity with regards to their mineral rights and drilling rights? How does that work?
Commissioner Strong, what the condition states is that the accommodation agreement shall be reached between those 2 parties. And what that does is it allows them to privately determine how they will work out access to those minerals. And what this condition does is it prevents the tract map from actually recording until they work that out between themselves. And that was the condition that they agreed upon back in 2014 when this was originally approved. So their Crimson is still protected.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, Commissioner Strong, would you like to provide the second?
With that, I will second the motion for approval.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Lomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Bell,
Yes.
Commissioner Rudnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Strong.
Thank you. Moving on to communications. Ms. Kitchen, you got anything for us?
Just to thank the 4 of you for appearing tonight. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Commissioner comments, any? Commissioner Strong?
Go Runners.
With that, we're adjourned. Thank you and good night.